And we're back again with another game, forZe versus AVANGAR. Of course, they are the double header of this evening's HellCase Cup. Number 7 in Group A. Of course, another best of 1. And this is going to be, I think, our second to last game of the day. Just one more match after this, which is going to be... Who's it going to be? Who's it going to be? It is Good Job versus Alternate Attacks. So that'll be pretty damn interesting. I'm not quite sure what their MDL result was, but I imagine that might play a part in it. They've had a long day of Counter-Strike for sure. Nonetheless, it's nice to be casting some overpass. Like, we've not had much overpass. There's been a lot of, like, mirages, caches, that sort of thing. So it's nice to be on overpass for sure. Definitely curious to see how this one does play out. Little just going to be tapping on away. FaZe looking for a little bit more. It does actually pull through the kill on towards quicker. So a nice little start for forZe. Playing very slow CS though. AVANGAR just not really wanting to do too much just yet. A little bit of damage being done by Buster. This is coming from behind, of course. That's 2 quick kills for him, and the B site ultimately taken almost instantly at that point. Team up. Just gonna try and make sure that you can't come in from behind, which does work out. Buster just going to be tapping down from above, meaning Little pretty much should be a dead man walking at this point. I mean, I don't imagine much more comes from it. When you got Buster tapping heads left, right, and center, I think you're pretty much good to go if you're AVANGAR. forZe started strong, but after that one pick they got, everything kind of went south from there. Just playing back now with these pistols, not wanting to really tempt fate. AVANGAR just spreading around the whole map, really. The only thing they're really missing is kind of any presence towards A long, but I guess you kind of get that a tad from Buster. He's just holding for anyone that does push on around. Same kind of goes for Jamin and Quicker as well, who's just holding for that kind of toilet's presence. Especially once the smoke fades, things will get a little bit interesting. You can kind of peek that angle that Quicker is playing towards. Buster still holding towards long, just adamant that someone could come on down, but will slowly begin his advances once he gets the call from Jamin that he is ready to go. Bit of damage being applied, but not quite the kill, but knowing that he's going to be low is certainly going to be a bit of confidence for this T side. That's a good nade. Jumping CZ, not quite the idea you were hoping for, but at the end of the day, it is still looking like a fairly comfortable round. A 4v2, of course, with both of the CTs up towards the A site. Looks like we are going to see a little bit more damage done, potentially, by these pistols. Not holding my breath through it, but I'm definitely curious, just looking at the fact they're exiting out in the way they are. Same goes for AVANGAR, though. They're actually just going out towards short, right? So they kind of negate that, which is pretty smart from them. Downside here is it's just pistols again for forZe. Nothing really too crazy. They have got that UMP in play, of course, but I'm not quite sure I'd argue that's the light at the end of the tunnel. Well, I mean, if it is light, it's pretty dim. Looks fairly clean as well. Buster. Really finding the header pass. Deem it. Just being careful they do a might come back down through connector, but everything's pretty much lock and key at this point. Sure, they've only found 2 kills, don't get me wrong, I don't want to kind of overread the situation, but even then, I don't see forZe doing too much here. They're just getting nipped into a little too much. It's kind of awkward, you run out of ammo, but the MAC-10 finding the kill is actually not half bad anyway. It's just making so much money. Prison alone just made 4,450. Alone. Like, you're not complaining really, are you? Like, it's pretty happy days. forZe being very careful not to bite too early. Little nearly given a chance, but not gonna make it work. Wonder if Little still actually holds the record for most kills in one map at a major. I can't remember. I know he like dropped like something like 42 or something, or like 45. Twitch chat, do you know if that's the case still? Do you know who holds the record for most kills in one map? Someone do some HLTV shenanigans and let me know. I can't remember if it was like most kills at a major that he had, like, or a major qualifier. Because it was the major qualifier like 2015. Very cool. I might be wrong, but Twitch chat, correct me here, please. I'm counting on you guys. Meanwhile, of course, it is going to be a bit of a back and forth affair. Nice position. And he was able to capture Jame. Bomb has been planted though, so Crimson actually definitely has a bit of a win condition here in the idea of just taking these 1v1s now, as they are just going to try and cross to the site. Smoke kind of helping him out, but unfortunately that's a really weird sound and a really weird look. What is that? I did not know the sound changed when you went underwater in CS. Who knew? The more you know. The Kinguin stream is started at _CS_EN2 with the business. I don't think it's on still out of 10. Anyway, let's keep our eyes on the prize here. Gonna try and actually just do a bit of observing, because Sword Director is being a bit terrible. Problem is the keyboard is kind of far away now, so we gotta just try and slowly shift that towards us while this round goes on. Bass in a good position to try and get aggressive on short, but has to be careful not to overextend. Prison nearly catching him, but he will get away unscathed, even with his flash in hand. Meanwhile, of course, we do see the aggression come in from FaceCrack, and not only one, that gets the second kill on Buster. The best thing about it all is they're cautious about anyone coming in from connector. So much map control gained by forZe. Bass is going to give himself up by Quizzin'. Which means the B site has been taken, but FaceCrack's still in a good position to cause a bit of an issue here. To just try and retake single-handedly. It depends on if Dima decides to back down towards Monster. If he does, that's when things get a little bit harder for him. Looks like he does go for it, but decides to take the peek, which is less than ideal. Was hoping he'd just play a bit more of a passive Monster style. Does make it a quick 1v1. FaceCrack just going to be looking for what's going on. It seems like he's aware that Kristen's graffiti. The angle is going to be held. A few shots come on out, and eventually it's the headshot that pulls things through. Nice little spray. I respect that, Kristen. Having the team spray. That's when you win the 1v1, spray on the wall. Happy days. Kingwood's game's over on with Tom, right? On the second stream, I assume. Yeah, Kingwood versus Game Agents. Is CS_EN2. Either way, that Mag 7 going to be bearing itself round through connector, secures not only one but a chance at a second. Okay, not quite going to give that battle a thought just yet. Meanwhile, of course, Buster is going to get himself the headshot on Kutcher, so that does give a little bit of map control over to AVANGAR. Quicker. His pace is just nearly so rewarding. FaceCrack. I thought for a second that he was going to hold for it, but he flicks back up towards the top of connector, just scared for a second. And that second comes back to haunt him massively so, as he will lose his head for it. Dima should then be able to deal with little, and the round starts to kind of fall away from forZe. From that point onwards, I mean, the whole of pretty much the A site is taken. I think that's a given by the position of Buster more than anything else. The only real variables here really is just the life of any of these CT members. forZe have Jerry on 1 HP. I have no idea how he's still alive, to be honest. Apparently that door is just great at holding bullets. The fact he gets a kill is even more surprising, but he leaps for the rifle, and as he does, that's where he gets shut down. You know that Flamey beat the record for most kills in a half this major. He set 32 kills in the first half Mirage against QBF. Yeah, but what, like, so I'm talking like about most kills in just 30 rounds. Like, no OT, nothing else, just 30 rounds. I think that's little, right? Like, I swear it was 2015 or like early 2016 record. He was nuts with the AWP, like, I remember the game. I'm just not sure if it still stands as a record at the time. That Mag 10 is brutal. Dima with 3 easy kills, just dropping them dead. Buster with a finish of Kutcher as well on short, meaning it is going to be just another simple round. A 6-1 start for AVANGAR. forZe finally can buy back into this one though, so at least a chance to respond. It is going to be the AWP in the arms of Little, so hopefully we get to see some of that crazy act. I don't know. There are so many ways I can describe it. I go for crazy actions, almost kind of lame. Kind of disappointed in myself there, but you get my point. Down that tunnel with bullet from bullet. Can you shout out Mudgy Harry? Big up Harry. There you go, buddy. I guess that counts as your shout out, right? I mean, well, that's what we're asking you to do. Skin Kelly there, buddy. Well, you are our Google right now. If I start Googling things, then we're already going to miss more CS than we already are missing by talking to Twitch chat in the first place, right? There basically will just be no casting at this point. I'll just be on Google, right? So, you know, we're a team here. You got to Google the things that we randomly start talking about. Like, for example, most kills in 30 rounds on CS. Tell you what, that's a nice molly, but it requires James to hit the shot to be able to capitalize on it. It doesn't even get one off, just gets pushed back to 20 HP. You hate to see that. What director? Why change? Why would you change when there's a push coming in towards B like this? This is just not what you change away from. Jerry gets 2 kills. It is going to be a quick trade, nonetheless. From Dima. Still has to be so careful, though, of what's coming from above. That smoke making life a little bit difficult for Little. Don't have to worry too much just yet, but I feel like that's going to be a big part of this retake, if there is one at all. Just Little, and there's AWP. Being given no chance to even get off one shot, though, is critical, and I think that just, yeah, he's going to back away straight away, like, screw this. Not about that life, just going to save that AWP, and AVANGAR, that's huge. It's a 7-1 T-side. Wait, hold on, right? So I don't know what the case is here, right? But one person's telling me that Flamey got like 32 kills in one half. You're telling me that the most kills someone in total had at the major was 36. I feel like Flamey got more than like 4 or 5 kills in the second half, right? So there is a stat that is wrong. I don't trust one of you. Can someone get the... Can we get someone different in Twitch chat to confirm what is actually going on? Because I don't know if I believe you guys. I feel like Organic Soldier's onto something, actually. Okay, so Flamey got 39 in the whole game. But then what match did Nico get 50 in? These are the questions I have, like... I have the memory of a goldfish, so we don't remember these things. I wish there was, like, a page on HLTV that just had, like, all the different stats in that are, like, you know, most kills in a half, or quickest ace. That'd be a cool little, like, page on HLTV. I'm not saying most kills of everyone, just of Nico. Yeah. I agree, like, Organic Soldier, we're on the same page, like, if he never broke 40, how does he have 50? There's a... I don't even know how to, like, audibly describe this, but if you could see what I was doing right now, you'd understand. Like, it's just one of those if you know moments, like... It's kind of mad. I think, whoever's trying to say that 50 kills happened when he didn't break 40 probably needs to just leave the quick math to Big Shaq, because that is not your strong point. Much like humour isn't mine. Either way, it looks like it is going to be a quick B plate that comes on out, just slowly creeping out towards the site. Little is being problematic with the AWP, but he's the only real good thing about this round. Everyone else is on just pistols. However, he's making it work, keeping the dream alive with 2 quick kills. Could look for a third, but I think he's backing away. He just kind of decides, you know what, I'm out of this one. Knows full well that this is a hard round for him to compete in. Leaving it just to these CZs and the Eagles and such now. Okay, so he's back a little bit. He's holding short, but AVANGAR shouldn't peek this. Nice crack is going to push on up. But quicker. It's just doing so much right now. Kutcher to take him down. At least leaving the one towards Buster, but that nade, that should be deadly. Kutcher just getting away to the right-hand side of it. Little hold the angle. Missing the shot. Buster playing that to his advantage. Swapping to the bomb diffuser, then cutting back. Securing both those heads. And meaning no AWP is going to be saved. 8-1 is the scoreline. forZe have to spend every penny they have to buy back into this one. The only player with a little bit left over could well be Little, depending on if he decides to go for a double up setup or not. And if he does, then, yep, so you can say goodbye to any sort of sense of money he had left over at all, because there'll be nothing left. This time around, seeing a bit of a peek towards long, it's face crack. Just to find himself a dancing partner in the form of a tree, as he does just hopping around in circles. Not really going to find anything though, which is unfortunate. As Jamie Moore is making it work. Uster finding the headshot means that that's a 2-man advantage very early on for AVANGAR, and 8-1. It's kind of scary. Nice frag from Dima, further solidifying that advantage. Jerry and co just gonna pitch their tent. Kind of starting to wonder just how deadly the scoreline is going to get for them. Why is stream lagging and why only 700 views? So stream lagging, I don't know is the answer to that. Let's have a look at our little OBS stats thing. So we've dropped 99 frames out of just shy of 1 million. So I think we're good on our front. CS looks to be pretty okay as well. Like we got ourselves some 400 FPS right now. So I don't know what's going on, unless it's the Twitch thing again. We had this the other day where we had to change Twitch server because it started lagging for years. It was the Twitch Paris server. Are we on Twitch Paris right now? Let's have a look. I don't know if this will break the stream. We are on Twitch Paris, so that might be why. Probably should just not use that. That would make sense. Yeah, either way. Nice little shot. Buster. Already able to tag down FaceCrack to 17 HP. We've got Kutcher pushing up on towards A long, but they're kind of looking for something they're not going to find. It's AVANGAR. They're all looking towards B, in fact. This whole T side is built up towards this aggressive play that is just going to completely annihilate Bass. I mean, if he has to hold B alone, this is, yeah, it's going to be a real hard sell of him, to say the least. I mean, he'll just get one flash. Owns him more than anything else. So it's good to start to see the rotations come through. A well-timed boost. Problem is, they feel like they're on the ball with kind of what's coming, but they have very little idea. Thankfully, it looks like the comm has come in just to gamble rotate up towards A, and this is actually huge for them because AVANGAR are going for the A play. You can see that with the 3 players they're sending up through A short. Like the fact that they're going to send Buster towards long, though. Adds a little bit of variety into things. You can use that AWP. Try and see if you can find that pick onto the likes of Little. So cautious about this smoke, though, and that's going to spend the last kind of few 20 seconds they've got of just clearing angles, so they really have to be so careful right now. They're just going to spray through, in fact. The shot to be missed. That initiates the play. It's now or never, pretty much. You've got to go fast. Shot to be missed. Kutcher to take them down as well. FaceCrack. Gonna pretty much deny any sort of plant. James just trying to stay alive at this point. Running on away. Desperately so. Sneaking in only one before he falls. Just keep using Paris. Yeah, I mean, you raise a good point, man. Like, I don't know what my thinking was behind that. Starting to be a little bit more confident in his duels through B tunnels, which is critical if forZe want to continue finding rounds. Concerned that they're getting this aggressive, though. I mean, the flash is good, so it will work out this time around, but they have to be so careful about getting too confident. It's only in round 12. So far, so good, though, again, with the consistent picks on Crisant, leaving just Jame and Buster. Jame nearly got himself a kill towards long there, but instead peeks it nice and close. That flash leaves him blind, which means he should be hunted on down. That is the case, as Jerry is going to find the frag. From there, it does just leave Buster all alone with 45 seconds to play with. You HLTV the most kills in one match. It says it was probably done by Rattlesnake from the UK. That might actually be a good point. What game was that, though? Is the question I have for you. Who was that against? Buster looks like he's actually... he's playing it like he had a dream, thinking he could go for that kind of... he got a sick 1v5 recently. Trying to think of like the nuttiest 1v5 I can think of. Nico's kind of the obvious one. There's always the Rain 1v5, that was nuts. Not really super recent, but it was nuts nonetheless. Being a little bit more careful this time around, but the confidence from forZe is still there. This time, it's not necessarily towards the B site. They're using their 4 players towards A to really kind of push up around this fountain area. Not really getting anything for their troubles, though. Just going to fall back, and I imagine at this point we'll start to see at least 1 or 2 players head down towards B just to support Bass, because if he's alone, again, I talked about this in the previous rounds, that if he's alone on B, he could easily just get crushed, and that's the B site completely taken, so they have to be careful. And after all, this is a really important part of the game for forZe. 2 rounds back-to-back, they're starting to really find their feet in this first half, and with very, 3 rounds left to play with, it's kind of important they do it now rather than later. Jerry. Oh, the timing, that is unfortunate. It works out anyway, though. Whips out the rifle. Does get both kills. Bass is going to sneak in for 1. At least good with a trade, but not long before Kutcher will shut him down. Leaving just Buster. So far out of the action, of course. Going for this huge long flank, but the reason we didn't talk about it is because it is just so late. I mean, no matter what, you look at the clock and you realize that he was not going to get there anyway before it was too little too late. Like, it would have been maybe shut down a bit of a retake attempt, but yeah, it's not going to work. When you go to open the chat and accidentally type a question mark instead. Not what we were hoping for. Kind of apt though. I mean, I'm definitely curious on how AVANGAR have just let this slip so far. I think it was just when forZe found their confidence though, to be honest. I mean, every round they've won has been started off with some sort of aggressive play towards B or A. Like, every round has been initiated by aggression. The rounds before that where AVANGAR walked all over them, they were getting the kind of deciding on the duels and stuff. They were getting to initiate a lot of the fights, whereas this time around it's forZe kind of actually taking control of situations, and I think that's really what's worked out for them. Just having the confidence to set up situations and play them out perfectly as well, which is obviously a skill in itself. Looks like Face Crack is going to be good for 1 though, as James does lose his life very early on, just peeking out through the tip of connector. Face Crack, hungry for more, is going to go for a bit of an adventure on down. Demo, meanwhile, does take a fight on towards short, but only good for 1. Make that a second. Face Crack opens the door. Talk about getting overconfident there. Just punished almost simply. That's kind of one of the concerns that I had for forZe, was just being maybe a little too comfortable. Either way, Jerry is just going to be there to hold off a pillar. Good for one, but then peeks on towards short, which is going to be the end of him. But realistically, whatever they can do to buy time for these AWPs is okay at the end of the day. It is still a pretty standard 2v2, a gap in play that Little definitely will be trying to abuse that cross to the site. He does go for the wallbang and then just going to sneak on around. And I like this from him. Instead of just getting aggressive on short, it is just going to be him being annoying with the P250. He sees Chrism, taps away at the head. Leaving just Dima, head to be shown, shot that connects, the second is all he needs. And he gets away with it too. Beautifully done. Little finding forZe's fifth. One step closer to that 6-9 scoreline, which is huge considering they started out with what, one round on the board? This is a big comeback from forZe. Marky, do me a favor and open up the Twitch thing, the Twitch inspector thing, and let me know like what it shows for you. Because I don't know if I want to know if it's Twitch or if it's like something on our end, or I don't know. OBS tells me it's not something on our end, so it's kind of one of those annoying things. We had this the other day, and it was down to the Twitch server we were using. So I guess I can try to change Twitch server after this map or something. Could also actually be OBS though. We had an issue earlier on with game capture not working, so we're using window capture instead. So it might just be that it's like a little bit slow. I don't know, there are no like FPS options of that, so we'll have to wait and see. Little just going to be doing a pretty good job of pushing back this rising tide of AVANGAR though. 3 players still ready to come up 3 short, so he will have more to do. Especially with his teammate dying towards Dumpster, that is less than ideal, but he's playing the corner, and this is what he does best. One peaks, instantly traded, but that kill buys time for FaceCrack to get himself in position, and as he does, he shuts them down time and time again, leaving just Jame. We peaked, naded, and flashed. Meaning forZe do find themselves to 6-9, the one they dreamt of, and the one they worked so hard to achieve, and I think major credit has to be given to them for finding it, ultimately. My man Flakes on the mic. Ahoy, you know, buddy, you know. Organic Soldier says his highest he found match page that wasn't OT was Hen1 with 45 kills. MLG Columbus last chance NA pre-qualifier versus Taunt. I still feel like a little bit higher. I really want to Google it, but like it's a pistol round right now and they're on the B side. And we've already missed too much by reading that off, so I don't want to miss much more. That is an embarrassing amount of USB shots I'm hearing right there, but it ends the same way. Kutcher with the double. As the bomb is planted. Vima starting to respond, does secure the headshot a little, but not really much else going to come with it. As nearly every angle is held, and especially this one from Jerry, I really like that position. Gives them all the information in the world on what is coming. Prism, headshot to 7 HP. What can you do? You just hate to see that. I like how Jerry just doesn't care about dying to the bomb. Wants to kill more than anything else. And he'll get away with it and doesn't die most importantly, so it's an extra 300 bucks for him. It is going to be forced 7-9. Now, of course, AVANGAR definitely will be forcing this one. But kind of what we wanted to see was, would forZe go for the the SMGs, or would they just go for the rifle? And they've gone for the rifles they can, the 1 AK on Kutcher, the Galil on Jerry. Then it is the SMGs that we expect on towards FaceCrack and Bass. Just a pistol on Little, but definitely just trying to see if he can get that AWP out early. Smoke towards the tip of Connor. They're just going to use that to try and wrap around on towards A. Now, the good position here is of Dima. Can see if he can just kind of come in from behind, basically catch them by surprise. He does a pretty good job of that, secures one, but then he's going to get hunted on down by the likes of Little as they do just chime in again and again with that CZ. Jerry just holding the flank is so fruitful, as it means Buster basically can't do a thing. "25 seconds. All that remain. Pause. Kind of now or never if you want to hit that B site. The flash molly is going to come through. James should pretty much be forced to cremate himself. A Viking funeral. He dies towards barrels. Bass is going to plant in the smoke. They try to deny it from short, but the only thing that comes through is just the one kill. One plant still does go down, most importantly. And you have got Bass and Kutcher who are low HP, but Crizzen, even then, is pretty much locked out of this 1v3. You can see that as well by the fact that he's already starting to back away. Just trying to do a bit of damage if he can. Maybe pick up a kill or two, but won't be going for much more. Yeah, it looks like the coach is back as well. Did have a bit of a I think he crashed out or something in the middle of the last round. Either way, this is going to be just the eco now for AVANGAR. Nothing really too crazy. Definitely going to be keeping an eye on these pistols, though. You never know what could happen. A lot of presence in connector for them. They are going to be met by a MAC-10 who seems pretty hungry, almost too hungry, and James actually kind of plays that to his advantage. Did a nice damage, but ultimately swarmed by P250s. Unlucky timing, Dima. I mean, 2 seconds earlier or 2 seconds later, maybe it could have been a bit of a different duel. Unfortunately, he just kind of came over the crest. And said AK was looking at your head. Buster just tucked in, but he's being checked for by Little. That's smart stuff. Oh, quicker! That is... How do you find two there? I'd love to know. Just spray and pray really feels like the most appropriate thing to say. But that almost sounds like I'm removing the skill from that situation. I mean, that is a nasty double kill, but it doesn't quite lead to the third. But a welcome attempt. I mean, fair play, buddy. And that should motivate you to get going as well into your buy, of course. At 9-9, this game is still anyone's to play for. You see Molly Flash come out towards B. Two players quickly leading the charge. It is going to be Kutcher to secure not only one, but a second as well. This is just looking like a bloodthirsty B-take from forZe. Not a single response from AVANGAR. The only upside you got is Dima, who went aggressive early on through A. But I mean, what are you going to do with that? Like, I don't know if there's any sort of round win condition, or if anything at all. I mean, a little just jumping around a corner still puts him in the grave. A few more shots going to come out, but nothing too crazy. What's more important here is the fact that forZe have taken the lead. They worked so hard to come back. They struggled at the start of the game. AVANGAR were running riot all over them. Then forZe, they brought it back. 9-6. Okay, from there, then what happened? They equalised 9-9. From there, now they actually start to take the lead as well. Look like we are going to see a quick tactical pause come in as well for forZe. Really thinking this one through. I like this from them, though, because I think that they know that AVANGAR are capable of throwing away these sort of leads. But they're being smart about it. They're making sure to really think things through, and that they do have a sense of strategy behind every little bit of play, and they're not just playing off confidence and aggression. Downside here, of course, is that round 20 and it is just pistols again for AVANGAR. The only upside is the AWP they've got on Jame, but definitely kind of scraping the bottom of the barrel there for things to be excited about when you got Jerry just being a can opener on this B site. Prison, good for one, but it is just trade after trade. Is just going to work its way down. With Jame and Demasik being the last two that remain, then it's kind of a repeating circumstance here really for AVANGAR. That's the only thing I can really kind of go into on the CT side, is the fact that, once again, it's another round lost, but a round where they're saving all. That seems to be a pretty common point for them. Of course, the upside here is they don't have to buy one. Gives them a little bit more flexibility with drops and stuff, and it ensures that every player has a rifle, and it actually allows them to double up, which I guess is a pretty big thing. Oh, what have I just watched? Face crack, buddy. Buddy, not like this. That is just... for once, I'm actually going to go ahead and just say that is tilting. Like, that is just outright tilting. I don't know, like, I don't know how else I can... Like, what was that? I don't... Who just runs up short with a knife out, stabs and get a kill? Especially like a left click like that. Like, wasn't even like he was just spamming right clicks. He just ran up through short, just got a left click off, and that was a kill. Like, yeah, that is yeah, definitely a little thrown off by that. That's the big buy for AVANGAR as well gone. Now they're kind of playing for scraps. They've already lost themselves a man towards long, and it's the same sort of aggressive play from forZe. They're already starting to take control of this A portion of the map just by abusing long. Question is, will they decide to re-peek actually into long? Will they fight toilets? Will they go connector and hit B? I mean, the map really is their oyster, and they certainly prove that point every time. So forZe are still setting up for this A play, making a little bit of noise towards B though. That smoke going to go on over, but the aggression from Buster is going to solidify that it is in fact A that they're hitting. Face crack good for one, but again, it's the trading storyline that follows true for forZe. Kill after kill with only one response from AVANGAR. It's just not going to be enough. With little tucked in on connector, it makes life just that little bit tougher. Buster does shut him down, but again, Kutcher is going to be there as the insurance policy to push this one over the line. 13-9 is where we are. And AVANGAR just going to force it. Force it in with 3,400 on every player. They can just about make it work with SMGs, shotguns on Concur. I mean, this is... You really are kind of standing on your last legs, I feel like, if you're trying to go for something like this. On the upside for AVANGAR, they've been given a bit of time to play with. Less of the quick rush style, but more of a few slow peaks, but it's the same result. Dima gets taken down towards long, and this effectively is a complete skyfall across the map now, because it forces them to have to adjust their whole setup. Suddenly the nerves don't know, okay, do we actually have the A site or not? I mean, we have no idea. Does Quickert want to peek up through connector? I mean, he's got a shotgun, so he potentially could, but how does he want to deal with that? So many questions for so little answers, but hey, Mag 7 works. It's good for one. Does a bit of damage on towards Bass. But unfortunately, it's still dead. A quick, harsh home truth there, but the point still stands. Nice work from James at least to take down that pressure towards long. That will prompt the rotates to come in as well. The flash leaving them completely blind. Buying falls a few seconds to work with as James just going to get aggressive. And he lands it as well. James on fire right now, making it work with AWP, securing 2 kills and looking for a third as well. Bass, of course, left all alone. It's James to shut him down. All 3 kills for him. Stepping up at a time of need. Nicely done. Oh my god, they're just going to go straight through the smoke, aren't they? Who needs a sip of water when you got forZe doing this? I mean, balls to the wall CSGO, they just do not care. Not really worked out for them just yet. Chain with a no-scope as well, delivering blow from blow. There's the final player put in the coffin. Quicker there to shut him down. forZe just no respect play, just rushing out B like that is so incredibly ballsy, and it doesn't work out, but the sad fact is, it's worked for them in the past, so I'm not totally shocked by it. Giving up an early kill though will be Dima. Third time now on the A site that he's unfortunately been taken advantage of. It was long twice over. Now it's when he makes the peek in. Flash is going to be good at buying them just a few seconds, but The difference between this round and many of the previous is AVANGAR had rotated quite heavily up towards A already. Whereas this time around they haven't. They're already kind of a little late, I guess you could argue. And that's not ideal. I mean, Kutcher, take the fight towards long. You've got Quicker trying to create a bit of a stir. Prison actually making it work, but I don't know. This is not sealed just yet. Molly needs to go over. I mean, they're just going to burn him alive, aren't they? Making things tough for him. Prison is 7 HP, bear in mind. Shit. Going to be headshot, though. That is critical. AVANGAR, 12 rounds for them. It's 1 round away from equalizing. This game is so like, I was gonna go with weird, and then I kind of changed it to wacky, but weird and wacky both just kind of go hand in hand. See how this plays out. That's a nice nade. It is actually going to put Jerry down to 53 HP. forZe instantly cutting back on towards the A side as well, just not willing to take any sort of duel. Meanwhile, Jerry is in a pretty good situation. Secures the first kill, has information on that second player. There's a lot they can do with that. Little obviously just going to scope in nice and early and going to use that just to start to clear off these boosts. Once he finds nothing, though, the question will then be how hungry does he get? Does he peek around through short, give himself up? I mean, there are a lot of variables in play now towards this B site. Kind of like this, though. Boost him over. They may actually be able to find Dima. Just needs to go a little bit more to the right and he'd be able to catch him, but unfortunately doesn't quite work out. They will use it to throw a simple smoke, though. Does get spotted. There's little in the jump. Flashes, Molly's then going to rain that over. Leaves them completely blind. They will line up, but face crack secure both of the kills. I mean, it is essentially a point-and-click trade. From there, of course, the site has been taken. Mass is going to be cut down by Dima, so at least a welcome chance for the CT side, but the Molly's making life difficult. With 15 seconds left, it is now unable to plant the bomb. And they pull through. Jame with the wall bang. But hey, the bomb was planted, which means Jerry, he can still win this one. Just has to try and play this one through to the end. Looks like he's going to get himself just tucked in towards sandbags and pray. Now, we got 2 kits in place, so we could just see the quick bait and switch on the defuse. They could just charge him down through short. The question is, how do they want to approach it? The answer is just run at him. Less than ideal, but it works out in the end as Dima is able to land the headshot he needs. 3 kills for him as well. Starting to really make it work. I feel like with Dima, it's either he finds like 3 or 4 kills in a round, or he dies in the first like 20 seconds. Like we saw it towards A, right? Like 3 or 4 rounds back to back, he died basically straight away. But then in rounds like that, he's finding like 3 or 4 frags. Like it's a real seesaw effect with him. Either way, let's see if Dima can change the record. The answer is no. He's going to die very early on, so this may well be the round that forZe find if tradition tells you anything. doesn't get much better either, does it? Prison, at least on the flank. You got Buster, who can come in from dumpster, but the molly is going to really slow him down. Or do you just smoke your own molly? Your teammate didn't throw that for a reason. It's all good. Either way, I think the result still is going to be the same. I don't think there's much threat here from the CT side. I think saving is definitely the play they want to make. Their economy isn't exactly in a perfect situation anyway. Yeah, forZe just going to fall away, ensuring they can save too. Was ultimately finding themselves their 14th round. AVANGAR left with very, very little, but the save definitely makes this a competitive round for them still off the back of just having those 4 players with weapons to play with. Looks like we are going to see some early peaks as well, this time towards Connector, which I'm not quite sure this is going to work out. They're both instantly shut down low. Quicker and Prison actually going to be good for a little bit more. Kutcher surprised by Dean with a 3rd player coming down Connector. You just don't expect that, but yeah, it works for them. AVANGAR are going to take it 14-14 unless Little can have any say about it. It's a 1v through the North. That's what he's being asked for. He is coming out through Monster as we speak. Now, the only sort of aggression he has is from Buster. Or attention, I was going to say, but even then it kind of almost the same thing, right? You know, effectively, Buster just take him down, so there's no real chance at a clutch, and we're full circle back to 14-14, and with forZe, their economy is kind of out whack. A lot more passive play coming out from forZe this time. Really just holding for these pushes. The only player far up the map is Jerry. Everyone else is so far back in the likes of... Basically, you could argue this is spawn to them. Just making sure no one comes up through long. Nothing through toilets or anything like that. And then they'll begin their slow but steady advance up. Just looking for that pick, really. Seeing if they can get maybe Dima towards long or something like that. Problem is they're getting given absolutely nothing. Just having a... refusing to face into these angles. There you have it though, our initial duel does come through, face crack. Able to find Dima that weakness on the A site. 20 seconds left on the clock though, it does kind of get to that point of now or never. Jerry, I'm not really sure what value he brings at around 20 seconds left and pushing B. It doesn't really buy any sort of rotates, so the utility at this point has already been used anyway. But hey ho, they're on the site. It doesn't quite matter. What does matter is whether James can actually break through the flashes that are constantly being thrown his way. It's a barrage of utility. But Kristen is saving them so much right now. Taking down every player that tries to get close, allowing them to start to really play peekaboo with the site itself. Once they're on it, then they just have to hold towards toilets. That's going to be their next obstacle. Nice shot from James. The smoke needs to kind of fade though. Facecrack just gets nervous, pushes on through. It's a 1v1 you don't quite want to take. Kutcher now trying to deny the defuse. They line up. He knocks them down. He's done enough. Has he got it quicker? A second in it, if that. A couple of flashes going to find their way over, but nothing too crazy. Jamie's able to secure that first pick though, so far, so good for AVANGAR. Flash is going to come through, so that's to buy them a bit of an opening towards A if they want it. Interesting thing though will be just what Quicker can do with his teammate, Dima. So back and forth, but it does kind of end in advantage for the CTs. It's 25 seconds left. forZe relying on this to take it to OT. They get themselves the pick that opens up the B site in its entirety. Not a single player there to defend it now. It's all theirs. They just need to hop on in and plant. Rotation has come through, of course, from Crescent, who is going to be there very close. Good for one and a second. It's AVANGAR to take it 16-14. There you have it, folks. Really struggling to close it out for sure, but for AVANGAR, I think that's a big win for them to find, considering just how kind of unstable they've been. Either way, that is our second to last best of one of the night done. We've got one more game to go. That is going to be good job versus Ultimate Attacks. We're back with that in just a few moments' time, folks. Do not go anywhere.